My connection with the Sisters of Charity, it begins a long, long time ago. I went to school here together with my sister and brother, and also we were educated also at Mount St Mary's in Katoomba, and later on I was lucky enough to be able to come back here as a teacher. So I taught here for many years.
My connection to the Sisters of Charity is that I was the first principal here to follow the Sisters of Charity. The Sisters of Charity were here before me as principal, and I followed Sister Edith as the first lay principal.
Well, I was always taught by the Sisters of Charity since I started school in kindergarten in 1946, a long time ago. And then I had all my education with them, and then I was so inspired by them that I joined the Sisters of Charity. And I stayed there for nearly 20 years. And after that, I decided that I was going to do something different. So I've always loved the sisters. They've been part of my whole life and have been my friends.
Well, I went to a Sisters of Charity school, not this school, but I went to a college called Bethlehem College, and that was in Ashfield. But one of the sisters we had at Ashfield was Sister Brenda, who finished her days of music teaching here at St Canice's just only a few years ago. And I remember Sister Brenda really well because she had a great big old black St Bernard dog. I think it was a St Bernard, big black dog, and his name was Fella. And he was a great friend to all the girls at our school because it was an all-girls school. And it was back in the 1960s, so that was a long time ago.
Well, since I attended Bethlehem College at Ashfield, that was run by the Sisters of Charity. Then my children attended St Canice's, and now I'm here back teaching at St Canice's, so I still have a connection with the Sisters of Charity.
Well, I went to St Canice's as a child, so I know the Sisters of Charity with their involvement through St Canice's. They're just lovely people.
Well, I've been a Sister of Charity now for 60 years nearly. Would have been in the early 1990s. I was here doing work similar to Sister Colleen's work. And before that, I used to visit sometimes, visit the teachers and visit the school when I was in administration. So I've always had a soft spot, I'd say, for St Canice's.
I'm a parishioner at Blackheath. That's my most recent experience with the Sisters of Charity, when Sister Mary and Sister Colleen were living with us and ministering to us in our little parish up there. My wife was also taught by the Sisters of Charity at St Vincent's School in Ashfield, and then she also went to Bethlehem Ladies College in Ashfield, and my two sisters were taught by the Sisters of Charity at St Vincent's College in Potts Point.
Sister Jean was, she taught me while I was here at school, when I was at school here.
My 4 children went to school here, and when they first came there were still 2 nuns teaching, and they were very good, especially the first communion class, I remember. And then about 20 years later I have 3 grandchildren going here, or 2 of them now got on to St Columba's. But I was very happy with their education and grew to love the sisters.
With the Sisters of Charity, I was educated by the Sisters of Charity at St Canice's between the years of 1960 and 1962. I was also educated by the Sisters of Charity at Mount St Mary's between the years of 1967 and 1970. Furthermore, my parents were educated by the Sisters of Charity in the 1920s and the 1930s. So we have a very, very long history.
My connection with the Sisters of Charity is I'm a school leader.
I've been here for 6 years. I'm in year 5. Sister Colleen, the Sister of Charity at this school, she's been here the whole time, and she helped out when I was in kindergarten, and yeah, I remember helping out with my whole class, and I like the way she interacts with the students and the and then how she puts a lot of her spare time into the Mother's Day stall and the Father's Day stall. And
I have memories of the wonderful teachers who are on the staff with me, who were so supportive, and of the children and of the parents, wonderful parents here in Katoomba. I love them very much and I found it hard to leave.
My connection with the school, I was principal here for 7 years and loved every moment of it.
I have worked here for about 17 years now, and I've known Sister Colleen from the very, very beginning, and she is one of my best friends. And there's a day does not pass by that we have a little chat and a good laugh.
The fact of how much change there is in the school, for the better, of course. And when we were here, when I was here, we enjoyed our time. We didn't think there was anything wrong with our school, and there wasn't. But when you see the improvements that are today and think back about how the rooms and the library, the pre-library was, it was very, very basic. And we're very thrilled to see how lovely it is now.
About the school, I only came here at this new school when it was built in 1940, 41 when it was opened. But previous to that, I did all my schooling at the primary school in the grounds of Mount St Mary's. See? That's where there was. But I had very little schooling here because after 1941 we moved.
I have so many stories I wouldn't be able to start. My children all went to this school. 5 of my children all went to this school, and I was here for a number of years. The staff were lovely. We had wonderful times at the school.
Probably I have too many to actually put down in this, but probably the most consistent is the friendship. The friendship and the care that the nuns have given me over the years through lots of good things as well as lots of bad things that have happened to me personally and to my family, and they have always been a huge support. So, yeah.
About 30 years ago, I first met up with Sister Canice and Sister Brenda at a quiet meditation and prayer meeting on every Monday morning, once a week, and they were very lovely to me.
The future, I would just love to see the Sisters of Charity still be involved within the schools as they are currently.
When I was in high school, I noticed the Sisters at St Joseph's Orphanage, how they dealt with the children, and I thought, oh, one day I'm going to do something like that. Well over 50, nearly 50 years ago.
Joined in the first place, it was the inspiration of the sisters and their example and the way they carried just the way that they went about their lives in just doing whatever they believed was the way Mary Aikenhead wanted their order to do the work that they did.
I was teaching with the Sisters of Charity in Canberra before I entered, and I was so impressed with the sisters that I worked with that I decided I would like to be a Sister of Charity.
One of the words would be hospitality. Yes. Yes, it is. It's been part of our charism for, ever since they came to Australia. Yes.
For me, I would say inspiring.
I'd say faithful.
Helpful and devoted, dedicated ladies. They were.
Well, I think they're dedicated nuns, of course. They're dedicated. They are approachable and very friendly.
I think charity itself comes out in the Sisters of Charity.
Thoughtful, down to earth, hospitable, very loving.
Very human women who are trying to do the best to live the gospel today.
I think one word to describe the Sisters of Charity would be action.
They're inspired by the gospel of Jesus to take Jesus' message to the world.
The most wonderful ambassadors for Christ.
Loving.
Forgiving.
Thoughtful. Thoughtful and kind. Giving.
It's helpful because Sister Colleen is always not looking at her, she's always looking at others. She wants the best for others.
Probably compassion.
Dedicated. Loving.
Well, they're very faithful people, and they're loving people, and they're friendly people.
Strong. They were courageous, and they were ahead of their time.
Just inspiring, dedicated people, yeah.
Loving.
Generous, very faithful, very kind, and I would also like to think that I have many friends who are Sisters of Charity.
Lovely.
Oh, easy. That's loving and dedicated.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love the sisters. Sister Rosalie, I remember, taught me in 4th, 5th and 6th class. She had 3 classes together, and they were beautiful sisters.
What did I say before? Thoughtful.
When she's ready, ask the question again. Come up with the word, because we're not going to include that.
Oh dear. Composure. I know, it's all right.